After being away at the works to be mended, James was finally back on the island. But instead of working, he tried to think of a way to get back at Toby for humiliating him at the station. He soon found Percy sitting in the siding.
Well, hello there, James. Sure is great to have you back.
Great to be back, Percy. Have you seen Toby anywhere?
No, I can't say that I have, but I do know that he was going to the station to pick up a car that Thomas left behind.
That's all I needed to know. Alright, thank you, Percy. James didn't find Toby, but he did find Thomas. Hello there, Thomas. Have you seen Toby today? As a matter of fact, I have. He's coming to pick up this car later. James looked over to see the one lonely car sitting on the tracks. As Thomas pulled away with his train, James stayed back and stared at that lonely car and thought of his plan. Later, Toby pulled in and coupled up to the freight car. Well, what are you doing here, James? Oh, don't mind me at all. Go on, pull your one freight car. Toby pulled and pulled his hardest, but he couldn't move the one car. What's going on? This is just one car. I should be able to pull this no problem, but I can't for some reason. The more engines I started to notice, the more they gathered around. What's the matter, Toby? Why can't you pull it?
Even I could pull that, Toby.
Oh, come on, Toby. Come on. Why can't you pull it?
It's just one car.
Now Toby was upset. He pulled and pulled so hard that his coupling snapped. Oh no! Toby lay on his side, sad, confused, but most of all, humiliated. Poor Toby. It wasn't until much later that Toby was rescued and put back onto the tracks. Soon, down the line, he found Edward resting in the siding. Why, hello there, Toby. You look upset. Whatever's the matter? It was just one little car back over at the station. I know I could have pulled it, but for some reason I couldn't. I don't know what went wrong. It was just one little car. And when I didn't pull it, everyone laughed at me. Don't wetty your pistons, Toby. Us older engines lose our strength over time. There was probably nothing wrong. But, however, it was one car. Do you think you could have done anything wrong? Well, no, not really. But I pulled heavier loads before. A few days ago, actually. I was pulling a heavy goods train before, and now I can't do it. After James came back, Wait just a second. James. I should have known. That tricky James must have put the brakes on your car. But don't you worry, Toby. I have an idea how to get him back. The next day, Edward found James waiting at the station. Oh, James, I have great news for you. There's a new shipment of paint just for you waiting at Brendam Docks. Well, then why on soda am I just sitting here to Brendam Docks? James quickly sped away off to the docks. When James arrived at the docks, he looked around. He didn't see any new paint. He just saw Toby sitting there, grinning at him. What are you doing here, James? Your paint's over at the Red Bridge. Well, then why am I just sitting here? Off to the Red Bridge! He soon arrived at the bridge, but once again, there was no paint. Did I say the docks? Oh, silly me, I meant the station. Well, it'll all be worth it for a new coat of paint. James had to puff all around the island just to get this paint. He soon arrived at the station. Had a nice run, James? What do you mean? There was never any paint, James. It was all a joke. This was not funny. Later that day, Toby and Edward were at it again, but this time they were taking it to the extreme. They somehow found a way to dismantle a section of track that they knew that James would be on with the evening train. Here he comes. Oh, get ready. Oh, real mature, you two. Real mature! Oh, great. That's just what I needed. Thomas was speeding towards James, who derailed on the tracks. Toby knew what he had to do, and he had to work fast. He coupled up to James's brake van. And then he gained up every last ounce of steam he had, and he pulled and pulled and pulled. Oh, Toby, no rush at all, no rush at all. I'm just about to have a head-on collision with Thomas on a derailed piece of track. No hurry, no hurry. Come on, Toby, I know you can do it. Put your back into it. Toby had never pulled so hard in his entire life. Puff by puff, wheel turn by wheel turn, Toby soon got the entire train and James off the line. Great job, Toby. I knew you could do it. Now, if Thomas wants to make it over that crack in the line, he's going to have to go as fast as he can. Thomas did so as he got closer and closer to the crack. And with tremendous speed, Thomas shot over the crack in the line. Hooray! Toby, you saved me, my train, and Thomas. Maybe you're not so useless after all. Thank you, James. You're not such a bad engine either. Well, I guess it's safe to say that this turned out to be a happy ending. I'll say, and we owe it all to Toby, the strongest and bravest engine on Sodor.